It's a funny thing about the Pope and social media. On the one hand, he's never been on the internet in his life. He doesn't have an email address. He has his secretaries communicate with people by email. He's certainly never been on Twitter, which will disappoint the millions of people who follow at Pontifex. At the same time, he recognizes that this is how people communicate, and the Pope, as I mentioned, is communication is paramount with him. And so it's not just that he's resigned to the fact that this is the way, in particular, young people communicate. He embraces it. And so what we've now seen, the spectacle of papal selfies, is, I think, a commonplace thing and something that he very much likes. He has also done these hangouts where he has had these conferences with 6 or 7 kids from all around the globe who ask him questions all at once. And it's so interesting in particular to see how engaged he becomes. I mean, and for that matter, just in a broader sense, how responsive he is to people, particularly vulnerable people, and how he gravitates towards those who are physically disadvantaged, who are mentally challenged. The Vatican's not going to change Bergoglio, Pope Francis. That won't happen. The question is, will any changes that are lasting take place during his papacy? It's an open question, and it gets to, among other things, what Pope Francis's intentions are. We don't entirely know. Among his many friends who I interviewed, their view across the boards was he's not likely to change doctrine. He's not likely to say, for example, to the disappointment of liberals, that marriage should be extended to homosexuals. Now, he could surprise us with that, but thus far, his own personal history is that of a person who has supported marriage being solely between a man and a woman. On the other hand, he may very well change, and already I think is changing in a revolutionary way, how, as one priest who knows him well said to me, putting people in the center of the church rather than sin. For too long, the Catholic Church had been concentrating on sin and saying what was wrong, what people should not be doing. But instead, as Christ would, placing man back in the center for all of his or her foibles, is a kind of focus that seems fuzzy, seems purely symbolic, but in fact could indeed be lasting.